How you doing, guys? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Cobra TV, and this is going to be a podcast. We're going to talk about tons of things here on this podcast. We're going to delve into indie TV a little bit and talk about Identity, Agony, Megaton Rainfall, and No Man's Sky. We're going to talk about the new game lore show that we have, and we're also going to be talking about the Revenge of the Survivor changes to the show, really just uploading that once a week. And we're going to share a couple things that has happened with Cobra TV and some of the media here recently, and a couple of other things, such as Cobra being involved in a rap battle with another YouTuber, I believe is a YouTuber. He's wanting me to collaborate with him to do a rap battle with Elite Dangerous versus No Man's Sky, which I love both games, so it's kind of difficult for me to go against a game that I love, Elite Dangerous, but I'm representing No Man's Sky in the video. And there's nothing more embarrassing than not being a person that can rap and having to send audio with no music attached to it to somebody who's going to listen to my awful flow. And that was quite embarrassing because it's going to have to be recorded again. So I'm going to have to do that, suffer through that one more time. Maybe I should do it live. Maybe I should stream myself trying to do this rap live. I think that'd be some pretty funny entertainment. But we have that going on. We also are going to be having Planet Nomads. The developers for Planet Nomads are coming back onto the show in February to talk about their alpha that they're going to be releasing with new gameplay mechanics, elements, better graphics, everything. And he's going to come on the show in February and talk a little bit about that, a lot about that, hopefully. But definitely keep a lookout for Daniel from Craneballs coming back on in February to talk more about Planet Nomads. Also keep a lookout for, some of this to be re-uploaded. When I talk about some of the indie games on here, I'm probably going to take those out as podcast clips and upload those as separate videos when I talk about Identity, or when I talk about Megaton Rainfall, or when I talk about Planet Nomads and things like that. But we do have some things to share. The Cobra TV show here was actually talked about in the Guinness World Records, Book of World Records, the gaming edition, the 2017 edition. We were talked about on page 125, so that's really cool. It's quite an accomplishment there, and we're going to show that in an article that I'm going to link down below, where a gentleman interviewed me a long time ago, and it was something that I thought that was never going to get published or anything like that, and so much time had passed, and then last Thursday it ended up getting published, and I've forgotten all about it, but I'm going to put that link in the description down below as well. But we're going to talk about the game lore series later on in a video, and we're going to talk about the Revenge of the Survivor series later on in a video. Right now, I do want to go ahead and talk a little bit about Identity. Identity did release a brand new gameplay trailer where it shows a gentleman inside an apartment, and what he's doing is he's showing how customizable the apartment could be. Everything could be changed, and it's really if you haven't followed Identity is a game. It's pretty much it could be comparable to if you took Second Life and Sims and Grand Theft Auto and you put them in a box and you shook it up and you dumped it out, and that's what you would get. You would get Identity. You could pretty much play any role that you would like in Identity. There's all kinds of careers and things like that you can choose. You could be a paramedic, where you actually go and rescue some of the players who have gotten shot or killed on sight by another player, or got ganked by some, bandits out in the world, or some drug dealers, and you can actually help revive that person so that way they don't have to respawn with less things. And you could also play the role as a police officer, and you could play the role as a criminal. And a lot of these things, if you go back, and these are the same guys who did the mod for the Arma 3 mod called Altus Life. Now, they did that mod, and if you played that, I used to play it a while back, you can see where they're going with Identity. When you get told this game, everyone likes to, interject, well, I have my own life to worry about, and blah, 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 blah. But these are things that, some of us kind of wish we could do in Grand Theft Auto 5, or if we're playing in Second Life. Wouldn't it be cool to just whip out a gun and just start shooting everybody at the cafe where everyone's sitting there trying to, hook up with somebody over the internet and get an online girlfriend? That'd be kind of cool, just trolling. I don't know. But, there's going to be consequences So if you were to do something like that in Identity, the cops are going to come, and these cops are actually real online players, and this happens in Altus Life. There are cops all over the place. I mean, one of the things you do in Altus Life is, you got to do a little bit of growing some marijuana, and when you do that, the cops are always cruising around the online players, and they're looking for you doing things like that, and then you got to take it and sell it to somebody, and you're earning money, you're trying to get to the point where you got a car. It's a survival game, it's a mod, it's really fun, and I could see where they're going with Identity. They wanted a freestanding game, like freestanding version of that, where they didn't have to depend on creating those events based on modding another game. And the new gameplay trailer shows him changing the look of his apartment. The TV that's in there, you can actually sit there and stream YouTube videos on it. And then the radios that you could buy for your apartment actually have, you can stream internet live radio. And then there's, he goes into the bedroom and he starts painting on a canvas, and you could actually take that painting that you make and hang it on your wall, or you can sell it to another online player. He says in the video he's not a really good artist, and it's kind of funny, but you can create some pretty good art, and there is a gallery, like a museum, so to speak, that you can actually submit your art to this museum, and people can actually pay a lot of money for it. But there's all kinds of sorts of things. The furniture is all player made. So if there's if you got a little knack for creating furniture and chairs and dinner tables, dining tables, and stuff like that, then you can create those in the game and then start your own business, your own furniture business, and sell those to other online players. And it's not just as simple as you walk into a store and you say buy, and all of a sudden it's in your inventory and you can just put it into your house. It literally has to be delivered to your house. So therefore, an online player has to be hired to deliver it for you. Or if you have a vehicle big enough, you can just pick it up yourself. Then you have such things as karaoke bars where you can go in. It's going to be very social. It's going to be mixed with a lot of Grand Theft Auto type gameplay. And I really can't wait to see where they go with this. But it is a very ambitious project. And there is gaining, there seems to be a lot of hype gaining around this title. And if you have an itch for it, and if you want to kind of get a grasp on what they're trying to do with Identity, then play the mod for Arma 3 called Altus Life, and that's pretty much it right there. Washed down, of course. Identity is going to have so much more than Altus Life, but if you want to get familiar with what they're trying to do, Altus Life is definitely the way to go. That's the first place to start. One of my favorite YouTubers, Frankie on PC and 1080p, plays a lot of Altus Life, and that's one of the things that drew me into wanting to play it myself. And then we got Agony in the news again. Agony actually did come out with a playable demo of their game, and a lot of people uploaded that on YouTube. And then there's this clip that's going around that Agony actually tweeted out, and it's got a lot of people kind of upset. And at first glance, it kind of does make you a little bit like, what the heck is going on here, man? But if you look closer, these babies actually have men's faces on them. And I don't, it's kind of gross. It really is. But I kind of respect what these developers are doing. They're kind of trying to shock the system a little bit. They're coming out with a controversial game. And it's a horror game, and I'm excited to see what the finished product is going to look like. And I'm more excited to see what the gaming community is, how they're going to react to this game, or not even the gaming community, just that, like, outside of the gaming community. When, if you're outside of this situation and you think games are meant for kids, and all of a sudden you see something like this, and it's at first glance, it looks like children being used to build a wall, and their heads are being crushed, but they're not actually children. It's going to cause a little bit of a stir, I think, in the media, and I think that's good. I think it's good to shock the system a little bit here and there. But I'm excited for Agony. I can't wait to play it. I love developers that they reach inside the box and they find the normal thing there, and they grab a hold of it and they throw it out and say, all right, normal's gone. Let's see what we can do now. And I think that's what, they're doing with Agony. And it's pretty cool, but there's that clip. And let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this clip here of Agony. Are you going to be playing Agony? Is it too much for you? Is it not enough for you? Are you just not into horror games? You let me know in the comment section down below. But Megaton Rainfall is in the news again, and Alfonso has said that he will be giving me an interview. It keeps getting postponed because the guy's busy. He's as far as I know, the last time we talked, Megaton Rainfall is being done just by one guy, just by one developer, Alfonso, and so he's busy. And this is another title that at first, it really seems so cool. And, you get to play this superhero in a first person's perspective, and you have all these powers, all the powers you've ever wanted that any superhero would ever dream of having. And you're saving Earth from a invasion of aliens. And the game is actually inspired by Independence Day. It's inspired by War of the Worlds and so many more titles. We do have an interview, a text interview with Alfonso, and if I can find that, I'm going to put that in the description down below too. But I think, when one of the questions that we asked how long's the campaign going to be, and he said, I think I'm not looking at the interview at the moment, but I think it was like around 5 to 8 hours maybe is how long the campaign's going to be. And I think this is going to kind of have a story, but be more like a survive game, like the survival mode in GTA 5, where you're just fighting waves of things and see how far you can get. I kind of maybe think that that's what this is going to be, mixed with a little bit of a story. I don't think it's going to be, even though you can go out into space and you can go all over the place, you can leave the galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. I don't think that it's going to be as an explorative game like No Man's Sky. So I think expectations for Megaton Rainfall need to be calmed down, I think, just a tad bit, and lower your expectations. And, we're going to be getting a game that we could just fly around like a superhero. And it's also going to be PSVR compatible. That's his main focus, is for PSVR. And I think that we, just calm your expectations down a little bit. I think it's going to be fun, but I don't think it's going to be epic and groundbreaking. But it's definitely going to be on my PS4 for sure. The PSVR, though, he got a little bit of a flack about a year ago at some kind of PSVR convention or virtual reality convention, because he's old school, and you know how movies are done in 30 frames per second. It gives that movie look to it. He likes that, and he likes video games like that, and he doesn't like the 60 frames per second thing because it doesn't, to him, it doesn't move right to the eyes. But so he got flack from the VR community saying you have to have your stuff in 60 frames per second. It's going to be like 120 frames per second. And so they started talking crap about him in some interviews, which is kind of weird. But he has since, and we're going to read the blog post here, decided, okay, you know what? You guys are right. I'm wrong. Let's go ahead and go 60 frames per second. And he has to, really, I think, because of the PSVR. But we're going to go ahead and read his post here, which his blog post, he doesn't post on his blog very much at all. But it's just one guy, and he's working really hard, and I appreciate his efforts. It says, "Hi everyone, looks like I've spent the year earning merit for being the worst community manager ever, namely not posting anything. People keep writing to me asking the big question, when will this game be released? If you are one of them, thanks for your support, and be sure that if I haven't answered yet, sooner or later I will. I've spent 2016 improving the quality of the game to a point that I never thought it would ever reach. I have been assisted by 4 artists, Hector, Esteban Richard, Victor Tardio. I'm not going to read the rest of these names. Holy crap. But congrats to all of those guys. I will put their names up here on the screen. That's not counting my friend David, who made the cover. The audio is being completely revamped, including an all-new OST, and hiring a voice actor. My original idea was an unvoiced game. Ooh, look at that. And now we have a voiced game. VR has proven to deserve a massive amount of development time. 6 different control interfaces have been implemented and tested. You will find them all in the options screen. So, wow, 6 different control interfaces have been implemented and tested. You will find them in the options screen. And lots of optimizations have been implemented to make the most of PS4, PSVR, PC hardware at a rock-solid 60 frames per second. I have only showcased the game in 2 events this year, and one of them it earned Indie Game of the Show prize. In October, I made a new trailer that I never published, but despite being light years more advanced than the one that you've probably seen, now I think it's obsolete again. Super awesome. Okay, so anything that you've ever seen from Megaton Rainfall, any of the footage, all of that is 100% obsolete. So obsolete that the new trailer that he made, he can't even show it. It has been eclipsed by the recent improvements in visual quality. It will be remade soon, and very likely it will announce a release date. So that pretty much sums up this year. I promise to write again in less time. I have with you a screenshot. Happy holidays. So the screenshot's still, I mean, it's not really a good screenshot there. Kind of blurry, but I mean, he wanted to release this game back when during the launch of the PSVR. Something happened. I think it might have been the 60 frames per second drama that was going on, but he decided to hold back on releasing then, and it was going to be then towards December possibly, and it never came out. But he's still working on it, and I look for this game to possibly be released Q1, Q2 of 2017, at the very latest Q2. This game, it sounds to me like it's almost done. He's been working really hard on it. He's up to 60 frames per second. It's only a guess, but I would say that this game is it's coming soon, and I would say Q1 or Q2 at the very latest. I could be wrong. But Alfonso, I mean, it looks like he's got some help now. He's got some artist and a voice actor, which I'm very curious. But let me know down below what you guys think about Megaton Rainfall. Did you follow it back in the day, and are you still interested in it? There's just something about being able to be a superhero like Dr. Manhattan and having all the power in the world, and you're able to leave the planet and stop all these aliens from fighting the Earth. You can accidentally destroy the Earth at the same time as you're trying to protect it. That's pretty cool. So let me know down below what you guys think. Now we're going to move over to No Man's Sky, which is in the news again. Back before the Foundation update, we started to see a lot of updates to the developer branch, the internal branch on the Steam app. It was constantly getting updated, and I kept saying, hang in there, guys. It's going to get updated. They're working really hard. You could see it every other day. They're doing something to some internal branch. And sure enough, we did. We got the Foundation update. So now it's happening again. They are updating the internal branch quite often, and it's, they're working on something. So they did upload something to test it. A lot of these articles are popping up all over the place saying that new updates soon. I don't think so. I don't think that I mean, you can't get hyped and pumped about that because I don't think it's going to be soon. I think that, we've only had like 1 or 2 updates to the internal branch. And before we had it was happening every other day, and it just started. So I look for this to be, dragged out for a little bit longer. They did hire a story writer. And another thing that I would like to point out is I'm doing the game lore series on No Man's Sky right now. And we're talking about the in-game lore. And what's really exciting is I reached out to 2 of the contributors to the lore in No Man's Sky. They're 2 game writers. And one of them is Will Porter. And Will Porter, I asked him to come on the show to talk a little bit about the lore in No Man's Sky, not give me any secrets or talk about development problems and drama and things like that, but just to come on and talk about the Korvax, talk about the Viking, things like that. But he responded, saying, "Hi, I came up with the lore and backstory, the alien encounters, and the language learning in the original No Man's Sky release." He also said that he did the alien lore, wrote the encounters, and did all the language stuff, and oversaw the comics and stories. Then he goes on to say, "But I haven't worked for Hello Games since summer, and I know they're getting an on-staff writer in now. So I should leave it to them now. Wouldn't be right for me to talk about it when it's an ongoing project." Awesome video, though. He's talking about the Game Lore video. So that's pretty cool. So Hello Games did hire that story writer, and they are, this is an ever-changing project. So I'm a little worried. Are they going to change the lore that I'm talking about in the Game Lore documentary series? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, though. I might have to do another session on all the Game Lore once everything's finally done, if they change everything. But so exciting news for No Man's Sky. An update is coming. I don't know how soon. I don't think it's going to be real soon. Not like the articles are going around saying. And then, Will Porter confirming that they did actually hire a story writer, and that he can't talk about the lore because it's an ongoing project. So an on-staff writer. Great news. I am working with Dopesart, who is part of the the No Man's Sky Amino community. I am working with Dopesart to get some pictures. He's an artist, and he's going to be contributing pictures for the documentary series, The Game Lore for No Man's Sky. And if you're not familiar with his stuff, I'm not sure how well he is. If you can Google him, like how well known he is. But if you go to No Man's Sky Amino app, he's on there. He's all over the place. Most of the art that you see on the No Man's Sky Amino app is from Dopesart. But if I can think about it, I'll put some of his pictures here on the screen. And so yeah, I'm excited to see what kind of pictures he contributes to the documentary that we have here called Game Lore. Speaking of the Game Lore, after we get done with the No Man's Sky, after we get done with the No Man's Sky documentary that we possibly will have to go and redo after we see what the on-staff story writer is going to do. I'm not sure, but after we get done with the No Man's Sky Game Lore, we're going to move into other games. We're going to be talking about the lore behind some of the iconic games of our past. I know one good one that I really can't wait to dive into is the game lore behind Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the game, but I think it's kind of fun. But the lore, when you look at the lore and you look at games, sometimes the lore makes the game seem so much better. It seems more interesting once you know a little bit of backstory. So I definitely want to do a game lore on Five Nights at Freddy's, and I don't know what other games to choose. I did post a post over on Patreon asking people over there what game they would like to see done in game lore. And they pretty much said to, ask some of the people here on the YouTube channel what you guys would like to see, what game lore you would like to see dove into. Gamer First actually mentioned Skyrim, but he said that's a big undertaking because there's a lot of lore in Skyrim. And, I like challenges, so I don't know, maybe, possibly. And going to the Revenge of the Survivor, I do want to start uploading the series only once a week. So that way I could play it all week long and have more story take place in one video rather than, what I'm doing now is I was trying to upload them every single day or every other day. And usually it consists of me just doing one thing. Like, okay, it says to go get the Antrium, so this episode is going to be me getting Antrium. I think that if I do it once a week and I play it all week long, and there's more story. I'm getting Antrium. I'm getting lost again. I get attacked by pirates again. Things like that. All that can happen in one episode rather than it just being one thing happening to me. So I do want to upload that once a week, and I might choose Saturdays to upload that. Now the game lore, those take a little bit longer to make because if you notice, I'm trying to put as much quality in it as I can. So those maybe once every other week. I'm going to upload that. Once I get a little bit more free time, I might try and upload those once a week. So as I think I said in the beginning of the show, we made it into the Guinness World Book of Records 2017 edition, the Gamer edition. I'll throw a picture up on there if I didn't already. I can't remember. And then we also have, I wanted to share with you guys the autographed 48-page book, art book that I got from Hello Games. So it's been a good year. I've got a lot of fan art up here on the desk. I've got a 3D printed atlas from Pole, some postcards from some fans. So it's been an amazing year, and I'm really happy that a lot of you have stuck around. And I look forward to 2017, where we're going to definitely kick up the quality of Cobra TV, and hopefully 2017 is going to be the year that we're actually going to get a studio. There's been some amazing people who have contributed in donations and Patreons. So hopefully we can actually make that happen this year. Get a whole studio, get some props, come out with some really good content, and be on camera a lot more. I've got some people that want to come on the staff as well, and I can't wait to bring them on as and get them started. So it's going to be an interesting year seeing where Cobra TV is going to go, especially diving into other games with the Game Lore thing. But I just wanted to pop on here real quick, talk to you guys a little bit, tell you what's going on, and some of the indie games that we've been following here on Cobra TV. And I wanted to talk to you about what's going on the channel, say hi, and then, thank you guys for being here and stuff like that. I do appreciate it. That's all I have for you today, guys. I'm going to be on the lookout. There's going to be some re-uploads from this podcast. The indie TV parts, the indie game parts are going to be re-uploaded. So if you see those, that's why. As always, I do love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you all in the next video. Until next time.